Hey, payday. You want payday? I know that. Bad news. Canelo Alvarez not going to fight Usyk either. Stay tuned to this video. You did. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I told you guys the walls were closing in for Canelo Alvarez. You know, the cherry picking is gone on long enough, and we're just speaking the actual factuals. So the more Canelo team continues to talk, the worse it usually gets. Canelo, his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, this is what he said, right? He was asked about fighting Usyk. He says, no way. There's no chance that Canelo will fight Usyk. Usyk is a heavyweight fighter. That's what we have Frank Sanchez there for, and that would be a great fight. We are going to look for a world championship fight in 2022. Frank Sanchez is ranked at number 4 in the WBC and within the top 5 of the other organizations, so we'll keep working and keep learning. Hopefully we get a world title shot. We are very excited. More than anything, the discipline and hunger that Frank Sanchez has shown in the gym, the learning he has little by little, gives us the guideline to think about that. So you guys heard it. He says no chance in HE double hockey sticks that Canelo will fight a guy like Usyk. So Ego Stradamus strikes again. I love my job. Appreciate everybody for rocking with me. It's all too easy to see exactly what Canelo is doing, right? And in case you live under a rock or don't subscribe to my channel, listen, follow my channel for the latest and greatest, because I made a video about this. Usyk made a statement because Canelo said he's moving up to Cruiserweight. So keep in mind, because I know the Canelo man fans, they're not gonna like this. They're not gonna like what this represents and what this means for Canelo. So they're gonna say, oh, of course he won't fight Usyk. You're being ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous? How am I being ridiculous when Canelo said he wanted to move up to the division? Listen, when you say you are moving to someone's division and you have the namesake of a guy like Canelo Alvarez, you're putting the pressure and the bullseye on your back. Nobody told Canelo to move up to Cruiserweight or entertain it and do it. But the moment you do that, you open the floodgate. Usyk is a prize fighter. He fight for a prize, dummy. He's a prize fighter. So of course, anybody that says they're going to come to a division where he feels he can still make the weight, because he's not the biggest heavyweight. We know that. I'm bigger than Usyk, guarantee you. If you ever see me next to Usyk at a fight or something, I'm bigger than Usyk, right? So he's not the biggest guy, but we know, like I told you, the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. I told you Canelo wouldn't fight a guy like Usyk, you know? And my thing is this, Usyk, this is a bad look for Canelo, because as you guys see on the screen right there, mega fight. So this website, Talk Sports, says it's a mega fight. Oleksandr Usyk said he is open to fight Canelo Alvarez at Cruiserweight, but on one condition, that he keeps his heavyweight titles to still fight Tyson Fury or Joshua in the future. So Usyk is willing, the fighter he is, he was undisputed at that division, just like champion Canelo is undisputed at 168 pounds. Usyk is like, I'm such a beast that even though I've fought at heavyweight about 3 fights, I'll say a good 3 fights, he's saying, guess what? I'll crunch down and make the sacrifices for a name like Canelo Alvarez to go back to my old stomping grounds and go to Cruiserweight. But Canelo's team wants no parts of that, because Usyk's actually a good fighter, and they know that Canelo ain't no damn Cruiserweight, and that they would be giving up a lot of energy. So it begs the question. I know some of you guys are saying like, oh, Ego, get to the point. Okay, here's the point. So What does that represent for Canelo? If they're saying his own team is saying, no way, there's no way that Canelo will fight Usyk. After Usyk, I just showed you, called him out. He said, you coming up to my old division, you're a big name. I would definitely love to fight you. He even, in Usyk, it was all business. He said Canelo's a handsome man. I don't know what that has to do with, the response, but Usyk made the statement and said he would fight Canelo. So I'm from the old school. Don't start none, won't be none. Canelo opened this can of worms by even mentioning that he would be willing to go up to Cruiserweight to fight MacBook Air. Nobody asked him to do that. Nobody requested that fight. This is randomly what Canelo said he wanted to do. So yeah, it's fair game. It's fair game when you say you're moving up and you want smoke at Cruiserweight, then you're going to get called out by Cruiserweights. It's just, look, here's the call out. Canelo Alvarez says if he wants to box with me at Cruiserweight, I can go down there, but on the condition that I go back, because I'll still have to go back to heavyweight later. So Usyk was trying to meet you, but Canelo's team, they bowing out. They're like, nah, we don't want that smoke. We want to fight guys like MacBook Air, because we know this guy's been stopped by a light heavyweight who moved up in his career, Tony Bellew. So they're trying to cherry pick that. So this, to me, this is a L. This is everything I've been telling you about. So look at and listen to the facts. Eddie Reynoso, when he was asked about a fight with David Benavidez recently, and I made a video about that too. He did an interview and he said, why would we fight David Benavidez? Basically, he's nobody and it's a useless fight, and David Benavidez ain't done nothing and he's undisciplined. So how on earth would you be willing to fight MacBook Air? What has he done? What has he done? Because he's a champion that nobody knows, and he only became champion after Usyk moved up, a guy that's calling you out and you're saying you don't want to fight him and there's no way, and you're trying to pawn Frankie Sanchez, a Cuban heavyweight, on Usyk. Usyk said he'll fight Canelo. That's what this is about. He's trying to get Frankie Sanchez. So again, you gotta pick your poison. Either Canelo is a cruiserweight or he thinks he can win. Cause like when Roy Jones went to heavyweight, I understand his first fight was a champion, John Ruiz, but John Ruiz was more accomplished than MacBook Air. That's for starters. Second, they were talking about making a Mike Tyson fight with Roy Jones. So Roy really felt he could compete at, I think Lennox Lewis' name even came up back in the day. So Roy Jones really thought he could compete up there. I don't know business-wise at that time what happened, but it just goes to show you Canelo is a scavenger, an opportunist, and a cherry picker, because he only wants to fight the weakest links at the division, or people on quick turnarounds, or clause to death, rehydration clauses, guys off bad performances, stuff like that, right? You don't want to fight Usyk. You just said it. Your team just said you don't want to fight him. There's the best guy right now since Usyk moved up is Maris Bradis. You don't want to fight him. I could pull all this stuff out. Maris Bradis called out Canelo too, and his team, right? You're not trying to hear, look, boom, I brought it up in seconds. November 9th, the walls are closing in for Canelo. I try to tell you, Maris Bradis offers Saul Canelo Alvarez a cruiserweight title shot. So he doesn't want to fight this champion who's actually good. You know, look him up if you haven't seen him. He was in the World Boxing Super Series. He's the IBF and Ring Magazine cruiserweight champion. But you want to fight MacBook Air, who he lost his pro debut and got stopped. Look, he calling you out. He calling Canelo out. It says anywhere at any time, right? And he called him out before Canelo made the offer, saying he was moving up to cruiserweight. He just called Canelo out because I guess the idea was being explored. So that just goes to further show and prove everything that I'm saying. Canelo's being called out by actual good fighters like Maris Bradis, who's a champion at cruiserweight and a better champion than MacBook. I don't know nothing about no MacBook, like Tim Bradley said. I don't know nothing about no MacBook, right? You got called out in November by Maris Bradis, quality champion. You're getting called out by Usyk, great champion, undisputed. And then his team saying, oh no, that'll never happen. He's a heavyweight. He just said he'll fight you at cruiserweight, not heavyweight. So the moral of the story is weight classes exist for a reason. And if you really don't feel confident in moving up, then what's the point? So why not face the better Bievs of the world or guys that are calling you out like David Benavidez? Instead, it's like, oh, we'll fight better Biev later, you know? David Benavidez is a useless fight. See, Canelo's being surrounded in or around his existing division. Demetrius Andrade's talking about moving up to 68. You know, Jermall Charlo's right there, a guy that's been chomping at the bit to get Canelo. Triple G probably wants a third fight, which I'm not too keen on. And David Benavidez has been like adamantly, him and his dad been putting it out there. They want to fight him. And Canelo's trying to duck and dodge these types of names. Better Biev, and he wants to go to cruiserweight to get out of Dodge against MacBook, but he's being called out by way better cruiserweights, you know, or people that can make cruiserweights like Maris Bradis and Oleksandr Usyk, but his team is either not responding to Maris Bradis or saying no way. That's cherry picking at its finest. I'll leave you with David Benavidez, a quality guy calling him out. So Canelo shouldn't really have to even move up to get a good fight. We out of here. Peace.
Now you put on this performance. Where do you think you are and what are you looking at?
I mean, I think it's an easy question. I think everybody wants to see me against Canelo, right? So,
and you can't get into Canelo's mind, but what do you think his assessment would be after seeing you fight tonight?
I don't know. I don't really care what his assessment is, but you know they keep putting these contenders in front of me. You know, my last fight was a WBC title eliminator. That's why I'm here holding my belts. You know, they need to give me the opportunity. You know, I'll go through anybody, whoever they want me to go through. The big Charlo want to get it too.
So Charlo would be the alternative?
He don't want to get in the ring with me because he's a pussy. That's why.
The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.